Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Weekly OJ, where we'll be serving you a cup of nutritional content every week. So this week we're going to go ahead and do something a little different to start off. I'm going to go ahead and go over what we're going to be doing for our next video, which is reviewing Stadia. Well, I don't know if that's going to be the next video or the following video. We're going to review Stadia. So the interesting thing about that is we're trying to get more subscribers, more likes, and all that stuff. So if you guys want us to review Stadia, go ahead and give this video a like. And then not only that, if you subscribe to the channel, go ahead and comment us. Let us know that you liked and subscribed. And we'll probably be giving that Stadia away to whoever leaves the best comment, I guess. So like, subscribe, leave a comment, and we'll go ahead and give that out to whoever we find.
No, and it's not going to be our cousins or anything like that.
Oh, yeah, no family. That's one of the rules, right? You can't... That's a rule, I guess. I was just gonna try to give it to my sister. No, so we'll give it to whoever likes and subscribe. Just leave us a comment, letting us know you did, and then we'll pick the winner. Okay, so to get started with the video, we're gonna go ahead and talk about cancel culture. Now, this is something that's actually been quite popular for a good while now. And for those of you that don't know what cancel culture is, it's pretty much just like mob rule on the internet that pretty much incites a whole bunch of people to go against anything that they don't like in order to cancel individuals that they don't agree with. So if there's something on the internet that this group of people disagree with or don't like, they mob up and start hating on whoever said something that they disagree with in order to try to cancel them or to stop them from pretty much having a career in a lot of cases. So we're going to start off by talking about Obama and Dave Chapelle and kind of their recent comments on cancel culture. I think it's very interesting. A lot of you might find it interesting. So I'm going to go ahead and play a little clip for you guys to see what Dave Chapelle actually had to say very recently on cancel culture. I think it's pretty funny. Check it out. Okay, so this is Dave Chapelle and what he says about cancel culture.
Political correctness has its place, excuse me. We all want to live in a polite society. We just have to kind of work on the levels and come to an agreement of what that actually looks like. I personally am not afraid of other people's freedom of expression. I don't use it as a weapon. It just makes me feel better, and I'm sorry if I hurt anybody, et cetera, yada, yada, yada. Everything I'm supposed to say.
Dave Chapelle in true fashion.
So I think that's a pretty good take on cancel culture. I think he's pretty much just voicing how pretty much, well, making a joke of it, right? Trying to tell everybody, you know what, you guys are idiots.
Why is everybody so sensitive?
And that's pretty much it. Like, did you guys hear about the what is it, the colleges out there right now that are trying to I forget what it is. They want to stop people from dressing up in Halloween costumes that are sensitive to people that are from that religion. Like, if you want to, let's say you're white and you want to dress up as like Jasmine or something like that, well, it's insensitive because you're not
Muslim, or you're not from Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, is that her ethnicity? What's her ethnicity? Something like that. Arabian or something like that. Is that right? Yeah. It's this whole thing with canceling anybody that offends you is just crazy because you can offend anybody about anything. How the heck?
I think if you want to be like politically correct, I mean, that's your personal business, but
to force other people
to force everybody else to be politically correct, like, I don't want to do that.
Especially, I mean,
he's a comedian, right?
Yeah, he's a comedian.
That's their job, is to kind of push the envelope on...
Make fun of people.
And if anything, I think it kind of makes light of it for the most part, right? I mean, they're joking about things that kind of bring us together. If you joke about something that's a stereotype or something like that, well, it just makes light of something that we can all kind of like, oh, haha, you know what? Yeah, my ethnicity is known for that kind of stuff. You know, it happens on occasion. You laugh about it. You can laugh at yourself. And
even the dark stuff, though.
What do you mean?
They've made fun of like suicide stuff, like they get something serious and then they make a joke out of it. It's supposed to be.
I would cancel that though.
Lighthearted.
That's so messy. What the joke about suicide?
Epstein?
What's going on?
What about Epstein? That's part of suicide.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. So,
but no, that's just the darker version. I mean, there's other your heart getting broken.
But even that, I mean, okay, so that I think that falls, and I think that's what the whole pushback against cancel culture is. It's like, it's one thing for you to get. I mean, let's say you are offended. Let's say you're offended. Let's say you're upset. Okay, fine. You know, you don't want to listen to Dave Chapelle anymore. Don't listen to Dave Chapelle. I mean, totally fine. I'm pretty sure he's okay with it. But when you're gonna go out of your way to try to cancel people or to try to force them to lose their jobs, try to hate on them so much on social media that nobody wants to follow them anymore, that's taking it to it. Dude, if you don't like the guy, don't listen to him. I mean, plain and simple.
Especially Dave Chappelle, because I think he's like one of the biggest comedians that gets made the most fun of. He's a funny looking guy.
Yeah, I think that's what calls a lot. I think that's what makes it funny, right?
So I mean, Dave Chappelle has like so many sketches just making fun of him. Like there's other comedians that have a job, a career, because they make fun of Dave Chappelle. So why don't you guys go cancel them out because they're making fun of Dave Chappelle?
Yeah, I mean, you could totally turn it around on just about anybody, right? It doesn't.
Wouldn't that be considered you guys bullying them?
Yeah.
I mean that's bullying. Come on.
It's bullying people to try to get them to shut up on things that you don't like them talking about, and it's dividing everybody. It's literally dividing everybody because everybody's offended by everything, and if you're not sensitive to everybody's feelings, well, then you're evil. You're the worst person alive. And it's like, okay, well, that divides everybody because not everybody hates everybody. Everybody wants to cancel everybody. It's like, what the hell can you say?
Or it's forcing you to stand on the side when it's like, hey, I'm just here to watch. And if you guys disagree with them, like, I don't care what you guys say. You know, like for me, I'm open-minded. If people make fun of me, I'm just like, oh, okay, you know.
We do.
Yeah.
And me the most, but
he takes the cake.
Well, we laughed too
But
hard.
I mean, we all, I mean, we're all like from a different era where, you know, guys and girls were brought up a little bit different, and when you got picked on school and you went to tell your mom, not saying that it did happen to any of us, but you know, you have the situations when you get picked on, what does your mom tell you, especially being Hispanic? Go back over there and kick his ass because I don't want him saying anything to you. You better go kick his ass. And if you don't go kick his ass, your mom will kick your ass.
Well, but before we send anybody to go kick his
my
ass,
mom just said, you need some thicker skin.
Yeah, I mean, just saying.
Before we start telling our viewers,
just not saying, not saying you're supposed to be doing it, but in our culture or in people that were brought up earlier on in life, were brought up to be tougher.
Yeah,
and not
defend
to take
yourself.
Maybe not defend
just
yourself, but
well, no, I mean, you
but just
defend
like,
yourself
right,
not as in
off.
fighting. I mean, as in like, hey, he says something, you say something back. You know?
Well, just I think what he's trying to say is just not be so offended by everything.
Yeah.
Like if you're that offended by so many things, how the hell do you go outside your door? Like seriously, like
don't go outside your door.
And that's what I'm saying. Like if you're offended by so many things, it's like, okay, well, what the heck can entertain you? I mean, entertainment is full of things that kind of push the edge. Granted, I'm Christian and I don't like things that push the edge that much. Okay, but I'm not going out there and trying to boycott every single thing that offends me.
Rick and Morty.
Yes, okay, there's like Rick and Morty. Okay, a lot of people are gonna give me a lot of slack for this, but I don't like the show Rick and Morty. I think it's just I think it's dumb. But not even Rick and Morty. I'm just talking about things that, look, me being a Christian, there's a lot of things out in the world that do offend me. There's a lot of things out there that offend me. If I watch a movie and there's, you know, pornography in it or different things like that, too much cussing, it offends me. But I mean, I'm not overly sensitive enough to say, you know what, nobody can watch this movie.
Nobody should watch
nobody
this
should.
movie.
It's evil. I'm gonna hashtag the crap out of this movie until everybody boycotts it. It's like, no, if I don't like the movie, if it offends me, I'm not gonna watch the movie.
You must have a lot of time on your hands to do that.
Rally, yeah.
Do you even get paid for that?
Well, you get a lot of views.
Yeah, but do you get paid for that?
I mean, I'm pretty sure if people are like, you know, Insta famous or stuff like that, and they're trying to push the envelope on other people, it attracts people to their sites, to their pages, and yeah, they could be getting some monetary endorsements or you know, kickdowns from the amount of traffic that goes to their pages.
Yeah, which gets into the. So I wanted to get also into Obama. I think what Jeff was kind of pouring into there, because reasons for why people get into cancel culture, okay? And I think Obama kind of spelled it. Recently he had an interview. I'm not exactly sure where. I'll post it up so you guys can see where. But so recently Obama had an interview, and in the interview he kind of goes over what he thinks cancel culture really is, and he says that it's more of a well, let me read the article for you guys, and you can check it out. Okay, so this article is on the New York Times, and it's by Emily S. I want to say Rube. Oh, sorry, it's Rueb. So however you pronounce that.
I am offended.
Don't cancel me. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and read this article. Former President Barack Obama made a rare foray into the culture conversation this week, objecting to prevalence of call-out culture and wokeness during an interview about youth activism at Obama Foundation Summit on Tuesday. So that's the name of where he had the interview. For more than an hour, Mr. Obama sat on stage with the actress Yari Shahidi and several other young leaders from around the world. The conversation touched on leadership, grassroots, change, and the power places have to shape our journeys, the Obama Foundation said. But it was his remarks about young activists that have ricocheted around the internet, mostly receiving praise from a cohort of bipartisan and intergenerational supporters. So it quotes him saying, "This idea of purity and you're never compromised and you're always politically woke and all that stuff," Mr. Obama said, "you should get over that quickly. The world is messy. The world is messy. There are ambiguities," he continued. "People who do really good stuff have flaws. People who you are fighting may love their kids and share certain things with you." Mr. Obama spoke repeatedly of the role of social media and activism specifically, including the idea of what's become known as cancel culture, what is much remarked upon but still nebulously defined. It tends to refer to the behavior that mostly plays out on the internet, which when someone has said or done something to which others object. That person is then condemned in a flurry of social media posts, such as people are often referred to as canceled. A way of saying that many others and perhaps the places at which they work are fed up with them and will have no more to do with them. Okay, so pretty much just kind of going over the idea of what cancel culture is, which we went over earlier. Okay, so I want to get to what he actually said. So this is what he said about cancel culture. I do get a sense sometimes now among certain young people, and this is accelerated by social media. There is this sense sometimes of the way of me making change is to be as judgmental as possible about other people, he said, and that's enough. Like, if I tweet or hashtag about how you didn't do something right or use the wrong verb, he said, then I can sit back and feel pretty good about myself because, man, you see how woke I was. I called you out. That's not activism. That's not being about change, he said. If all you're doing is casting stones, you're probably not going to get that far. That's easy to do. And you know what? From somebody who is on the left to say that, and being such a popular figure as he is, President Obama is like, I think, one of the most popular presidential left-leaning presidents, right? If I'm not, like, he's like one of the most popular Democrats out there, and for him to come out against cancel culture, which I think is actually like a dominant left-wing idea, or you know.
But you think it's really a left-wing idea? Like, I think it's an idea of its own, and it's something that, I mean, I hate to say it, is more like LGBT community is more that's oppressing this. Well, and they're the ones that are trying to, you know, fight for this kind of stuff. Because if you go back to everything that Dave Chapelle says, I mean, it hurts them the most. But I think it's not really political in a certain way. Mm-hmm. I think it's more of a social thing.
Yeah, and I that's what he gets into. He's pretty much saying, look, you guys are just trying to, what does he say? He says, so what Obama's trying to say here is that, look, you guys are just virtue signaling. You're literally just trying to look good for your peers. That's it. You want to look like a good person, so you think in order for you to look like a good person, well, I got to call out people on what I believe are injustices.
So you're acting out in front of your friends.
Yeah, and it's a false activism.
It's like doing something for your followers. It's like, if you think it's right and you do it for your followers, you're just doing it. It's pretty much just doing it for the hype.
Yeah, it's not even a big issue, or you don't even really care that much, but you're doing it because you know it's gonna either draw views or it's gonna make you look good, right? Oh, look, Angel called out Jeffrey on so and so topic. Ooh, that must mean that Jeffrey's evil and Angel's a good person for calling him out on that.
I'm not evil.
But did I really do anything other than just kind of shame this guy for something that I didn't like and make myself feel better? and that's pretty much what Obama, I think, is saying here. Is like, look, that's not really activism. If you want to do activism, you know, go fight for something that actually, you know, is worth fighting for.
Yeah, like if you want to be an activist, you know, fight for world hunger, fight for saving the ocean, fight for deforestation, things that matter to the world, not to your community, to the world. Like, if you want to save the world, you know, go clean a beach, go plant some trees, take care of the elderly, or do something that really matters, not something that's shaming other people or that is causing other people's careers, jobs, families, stuff like that could hurt people. You're not doing good. You're just doing something that is enticing other people to fight back.
And I think you did a great job. I completely agree with that. And the only thing I'll add on is you guys are just simply doing it to make yourselves feel better. There's no, to make yourself feel better, and there's no reasoning behind it other than you don't agree with them. That's it.
They're just being greedy.
Yeah, you're not doing it because you're trying to save the world or to even save a culture or to save. The only thing you're doing is you're attacking someone because they have opinions that you don't like. That's it.
Yeah.
You're not benefiting anything. What are you saving? You're not saving. You canceled a person from being a comedian. Good job.
I'm still gonna watch him, even though I haven't even. This is going off from his recently, from his Netflix special that just came out. I haven't watched it. I mean, I'm not really a big Dave Chapelle fan. To a certain extent. I mean, I like some of his jokes. I've watched him on YouTube a couple times and stuff like that. He's funny. I watched him when he was a little bit, younger, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's not something that attracts to me. And then I heard it was a lot of, controversy because he went at it for the LGBT community. A lot of he, she, stuff,
yeah.
and, homosexual stuff. And, I mean, he's a comedian, and what can you do? The comedian, that's his job. But you want to cancel him out for that? I mean, go ahead, do your thing. I don't know. It's just not something that I will do, because everybody is entitled to their own opinion, and everybody should be able to do whatever they want with their platform, like you guys kind of do with your own platforms. But I just don't really care for the special either.
This is something that we see a lot in the mainstream media. But the reason why I brought it up, and especially in this video, is just because I kind of wanted to actually kind of shed some good light on the fact that I think there's a return to normalcy. I mean, maybe very slowly, but the fact that people like Dave Chapelle are speaking up, and now President Obama, who's just a very popular political person, I think hopefully we'll see a return to normalcy where people aren't just doing this stuff, trying to shut down people, cancel people, just for the mere fact that they want to virtue signal. So I don't know. Maybe we'll see that return to normalcy. Hopefully, we see that. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and dive into the next topic, and the next topic is Kanye West. Okay, so there's a lot of interesting stuff going on with Kanye West. Kanye West is now pretty much coming out with his faith. Something that is very unpopular in the hip hop culture and all that stuff, and he's very boldly coming out in favor of his Christianity.
His new album, Jesus is King.
Yeah, he's coming out with Jesus is King, and this is actually stirring up a lot of talk around Kanye West because of all this. I know, which I kind of wanted to get Edgar's take on it, because you said that you weren't interested in what he's got going on, but I mean, is there?
No, that was Omar.
Oh, was that Omar?
I think that was me.
Was that you?
On the text? Yeah, I said I really don't care for what Kanye West is doing. And
well, Omar said the same thing. He said, I don't care about Kanye.
So, I mean, it's not that I care about, I said I don't care what he does in his personal life, but...
what do you think about... Okay, so Kanye West is very... he's starting to become a conservative. He's starting to speak out more about his religion. He's starting to talk about... could
it be the fact that he has a family now?
And you know what? I think that's what it is.
He just said it in the interview. He's like, he's been married for 5 years. He has 4 beautiful children. All his children are religious. His daughter actually encourages him to even go to church more. Mm-hmm. She what is it called? Sunday service. So she said there's a song called Sunday Service, but she asked him that she wants to go to every single Sunday service, and she wanted to go to Sunday service in her town. She doesn't want to go anywhere else. So my concept of Kanye is, I mean, he's doing good. His take on it is great. I still think he's a little crazy, man. Like, Kanye West is like, he's trying to put. This is my opinion. It doesn't matter if you guys agree with me or not. I think Kanye puts himself up like he's almost godly.
Well, here's
close, like because
to God.
Because he always remarks like, I'm there. You know, everybody's already canceled me out. I already fallen. I have already dove down, and what can people tell me that hasn't been told any, you know? And then what can you tell me when I'm worth $3 billion and everybody's worth nothing compared to me? What can people tell me when I'm at the top and you guys are at the bottom?
See, I would want to know.
That's like his take, though.
Yeah, but
well, he doesn't. The fact that he's been through so much, and maybe his income as well, like that just sets him like, well, what do I care what people say?
He does mention that he's hit rock bottom, and he was like, you know, his debt was more than what he was making, and then now he started what's his brand called? Yeezy. And his shoes and his clothing line, and now his clothing line is worth like $3 billion, and people want to buy it off of him. And
he's a businessman.
And I mean, yeah, he's right there, and he's doing great, and you know, maybe now financially is doing stupendously, but there's nobody godly, or there's nobody that is, you know, next to God so much that is gonna put himself up there.
Yeah, but
then bring you down.
Yeah, but I don't know that. Okay, so there's two different Kanyes. Okay, there's the Kanye that was, and then there's Kanye that you can see transitioning. Okay, and that's what I think is the important thing, and what I'm kind of focusing on and hoping he does correctly. Kanye West has always considered himself. I mean, back when he wrote Jesus Walks, I always thought that was about Jesus, but it was legitimately about him. He thought he was Jesus, right? I'll just start off by saying I've never liked Kanye. I think I would have to agree with Jeff. I've always thought that Kanye West was just crazy. He's just a nut job. The whole thing with the Taylor Swift, he's a jerk. You know, I've never liked Kanye. I've always given him credit for his music. And I think he's a very creative person. Extremely creative. I love his music. I think he's very creative.
Yeah, his stuff is pretty dope, man. I like Kanye the artist or the rapper, because I don't think he's a rapper anymore. I think he's more of a gospel singer at this point.
Well, yeah, with his new album. But I like Kanye West the rapper. I don't like Kanye West the person. Yeah, and that's what I used to tell everybody. I used to say I don't like Kanye West the person, but I love his music. I think he's super creative. I give him props for that.
Bomb producer.
Yeah, I give him props for that as much as I can. But I do make it a point to say I don't like the guy, and I think that he's crazy.
Mr. West.
Yeah, but so what I find interesting is you see this transition. I think Edgar hit it on the nose. I think once he started his family, once he had his daughter, I mean, you can, if you really listen to his music, you can kind of see the transition in his music. I think. I mean, I remember hearing songs like 2 albums ago about his daughter, and I think even Kim on some of them, and I would listen to him, and I was like, man, you know, that's totally against what he raps about. And I even thought it was kind of funny. I was like, this guy raps about, you know, boobs and ass, I'll bleep that out, but and that's his whole thing. But when he would rap about his daughter, it was a totally different thing. He would be like, you know what, don't grow up to be like your mom, you know, showing off all this, I don't want that, you know, find yourself a good guy and this and this and that. And I was like, how are you gonna put that on the album where like 2 songs ago you were like, damn, check that chick out, you got big ass, you know? it's like I was like, it doesn't make sense.
I ain't saying she a gold digger.
Yeah, you know, but so that's what I'm saying.
It's the evolution of somebody, you know. Not everybody sees the light of day immediately. You know, it takes people a lot of times, and we don't even know what he's been going through, you know, personally. And, you know, there was the thing he had with his mental breakdown and maybe a little bit of substance abuse and stuff like that. You know, you don't really know. He probably hit rock bottom and then came back up and like, oh my God, I was doing everything wrong, you know. But when you're in the media, like Kanye is pretty out there. You know, Kanye is one of the top people in the media. Yeah. And everything he does is either frowned upon or really, really...
what draws people's attention. That's why TMZ's always on his ass.
Really looked at. So you know...
I guess I'm going to be biased in this too. I'm a Christian, so I'm actually hoping it pans out. What sucks for me, what's scary for me, I'm sorry, is if Kanye West doesn't... You know, sometimes there's celebrities that start turning towards God. or just people in general that starts turning towards God and like Christianity, in whatever form they decide to take that on, and then they start going in a direction that seems kind of crazy. You know, there's people in religion that sometimes often get looked at as crazy, and I think it kind of gives a negative light to I think religion and Christianity. So I'm hoping that Kanye West actually does his research. He's not just one of these guys that's just going to go out there and start opening his mouth about things that he doesn't really know about and almost making Christianity look bad or, you know, nutso, when I don't think that's the case. You know,
it might not be the case, but when you hear him in interviews, because I just saw the interview with Big Boy, and he still at points sounds perfectly fine, and you can see his points come across, and it's really, really thought out and maybe even rehearsed, but some of the stuff when it's totally out of whack.
Yeah, and I from the stuff that I've heard too, I have to agree. I think he's still, but this is why I'm not discrediting him. I'm not discrediting him because I'm hoping that he's actually doing his research. I mean, to go from
he probably has a team.
Well, maybe so, but what I mean is...
because he has his own stuff that he does. I
mean,
if I had that money, I'd have my own team. Research it, tell me what you got.
He has a pastor that he considers his pastor, and somebody's helping him out, I'm pretty sure.
But what I'm trying to say is nobody starts out perfect. I mean...
Well, nobody is perfect.
True. Well, okay. Well, nobody starts out... Nobody's perfect. What I'm trying to say is that the guy is not going to know everything perfectly right now. No. He's going to struggle. He's going to, you know, mess up on some things, but he's trying. And I think you see that transition because Kanye
he has really good points on his views too.
I think so too.
Especially coming out of it as what we just came across social media. Mm-hmm. He's like, why are you guys spending so much money on social media? Why are you guys spending so much money on flashy things, watches, bracelets? Why are you guys spending money on cars and things to swag out? United States is for sale. Take it and make it yours. Buy property, invest. If you're not doing the right thing and you're just feeding into social media, you're falling right into their trap. And that's the thing that I like about Kanye right now, is that he's not only talking about something that is religious, he's talking about political views.
Oh yeah,
he's talking about how, you know, social media is just guiding you down, you know, what they want you to do.
Yeah.
And there's such a lot of other ways to get you out of poverty, to get you out of, I mean, if you want to be in the hood, you can be in the hood, but there's such other ways to get yourself educated without not feeding into people's demise or trying to put you down and stuff like that.
I think this is why I'm giving Kanye West props, because I think he's thinking a lot of things through, and he's starting to realize the ramifications of things. So like he gets in, like you said, he gets into politics too. He gets into, you know, abortions. He's saying, look, if I'm not mistaken, I'll find the stat and I'll put it up, but I think blacks have like the highest abortion rate right now. And he's trying to say, look, God doesn't want us killing babies, and those are our babies, you know, let's keep our babies, let's raise our babies. Why are we the ones that are aborting our kids? And then he gets into a couple different issues. He gets into welfare. He's like, you know, they create this welfare system, and it keeps us stuck on the welfare. We depend on this welfare. We depend on the government now, and we're not seeking to better ourselves. We're seeking to depend on the government. He's like,
because
no.
So I'm gonna quote some stuff from work. You know, being at work and dealing with people and having people not wanting to work because if they work a certain amount of time, they make a certain amount of money, they lose their benefits.
Yeah,
and you know, it's really mind-boggling when you're trying to have somebody make more income and have a lot more to sustain their family, but they don't want to go forward because they're gonna lose what they get, their benefits of you know, it be welfare or EBT or WIC or stuff like that. I don't really know how it works in a broad perspective, but I've come across a couple times from a work perspective that people don't want to push the boundaries on trying to be successful because they're gonna lose what they have.
They don't want to lose their crutch in a sense, or not, maybe not even a crutch, but they don't want to lose their
what they consider financial stability.
Yeah, so and I think that's a great point. I think a lot of the times, you know, we get so used to these, and I think like Kanye West says, you know, we're just starting. we're allowing ourselves to start relying on government take care of me. Government take care of me, and I have to rely on the government now. I'm not going to try and benefit myself. I'm not going to seek to, become more successful because I can just rely on the government. So I think he's trying to say, look, it's a trap, guys. He's like, real. And and that's what I'm saying. I think Kanye West is starting to think through a lot of these things. And I think a lot of it sparked from him having kids and having a family. There's a study that they did. I'll put it up behind me, and there's a graph to it, where it says that as people get older, they start leaning towards becoming conservative. And a lot of that has to do with conservative values have to do with family. It revolves around, exactly that, holding to traditional values, being conservative on certain issues, not being an extremist or in progressivism, and conserving to traditional values. And a lot of that, I think, stems from the fact that people, when they start to have families, they start to have kids, they start to realize that, I cherish this, I want to take care of this.
Because all those are being
circumstantial, right? Because when they were single, they had one view. Now they're married, and their view changed. Yeah, or they have a family.
Yeah, because it all stems to be conservative because you have a family to take care of, and you respect conservative values because at the end of the day, that's what's gonna be conservative to your family. Yeah, it's the better outcome for a family.
Yeah, because progressivism seeks to highlight the individual, whereas conservatism is traditionally based on family values. So whereas progressivism seeks to say, hey, you know what, you can do it all by yourself. Hey, you're a strong woman, you don't need no man.
Which is true too. I mean, there's points to everything.
Well, granted, and I agree with it. I think there are people that seek to have that, but what
because I come from a single family. My mom was a single mother, and she ain't got no trouble raising some kids.
Oh yeah, and
so I mean, in that perspective, I don't think progressivism should be brought down or shone upon. But conservatism is what you value. Even if you're a single mother, conservatism is what you want for your family at the end of the day.
Yeah, and I think progressivism or extremist leftism. I think the problem is that leftisms or people on the left generally tend to cut out the family. So it's not just let me have my own personal values and let me be progressive. It's like, no, you have to believe in progressivism or you're evil or you're against women. If you they attack women saying, you know what, if you want to be married, that means that's a different kind of slavery. You're just subjecting yourself to slavery. You should seek to be an independent woman. And it's like, no, okay, so if you want to be conservative, if you want to get married and you want to have that whole household where you stay where the wife stays home and the husband goes to work, it's not a bad thing. It's okay.
What's funny right now is that my wife is going to school, and obviously when she's done with her career or whatever she's going to school for, she's about to make more money than I am. Mm-hmm. So we were having a conversation of we wanted to start a family, and I was like, don't worry, babe. Once that paper comes in and you're doing good at work and we start to have a family, I'm okay with being that stay-at-home dad.
Yeah.
Staying home with the kids.
I pointed out though, because I'm like, look, you have no one on your back telling you what to do. You set your own schedule. You can do pretty much whatever you want as long as everything's taken care of. Like, it's not bad.
Games.
And I think
swallow your that's not manly. Like, get out of here with that stuff.
And I think that's the misconception about people on the right. It's people that are conservative. I think a lot of the times, because generally speaking, the man will be the breadwinner and the woman will stay home with the kids. I think it just works out really well. I think it's a good system. I think it plays out well. So I think that's why generally that's how it happens. But that's not because conservatives or people on the right are just trying to put down women or that's what they want. They want to control the household. They want I mean, I've totally told my girl, I was like, man, if you start making more money than me, like same thing like Jeff, like hell, I'll stay home, I'll take care of the kids and all that stuff. It's nothing against.
There's a funny take on a special. It's a comedian too. She's a girl comedian. She's on Netflix.
Yeah,
I forget what her name is, but she has a whole take on how her man is a business graduate from Harvard. Mm-hmm. That's pretty big.
Yeah.
And she's a comedian. and she also went to school. She has a degree, but her husband just made that much more money.
Yeah.
And now she's like super famous, and she's a comedian, and she gives her own take on how she pretty much made him the stay-at-home dad because her figures went probably another 2-3 zeros behind his. And it's a funny take. You guys should check it out. I'll look it up and we'll post it up.
Yeah, and I as someone who I would honestly say I think I'm conservative and I'm right with some liberal ideas, but I'm mainly right, and I would say I have nothing against that. If the wife wants to go to work and the guy wants to stay home, that's totally cool too. I just think I think it works out well. I think women are very much more nurturing or just naturally better nurturing than men. But there's nothing against men staying home.
Plus, if the guy stays home, you'll know when something breaks in the house, and if you're all working all day and you get home and, oh honey, the fence fell down. And you just coming in from a hard day of work and you're like, damn it, now I gotta fix the fence. At least if you're a stay-at-home dad, you'll be like, man, and I fixed that fence you didn't even know about.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a pro, I guess.
I think
never
Jeff,
thought of it like that either.
Yeah, I mean, because don't you hear it like sometimes on TV? They're like,
well, yeah,
honey.
I get it all the time. Like, go do this, go do that. Like, I just got home from work. Like, I'm tired.
I've been working all day and now I gotta come home and fix something. I'm like, god damn.
I think there's a lot more to this topic, but we'll have to save that for another day. So we're gonna go ahead and sign out. So Jeffrey.
So this was your weekly OJ with Jeffrey,
Edgar,
Angel.
Shout out to my boy Kanye.
Jesus.
See you guys.
All right, let's get out of this dump.